We are live, and I'm so glad that you guys are with us. Look at us. We all coordinate. I wore my red, and we've got our American flag back. Have you guys ever been to the Texas Troubadour Theater? It is a piece of history. I always say go to the Midnight Jamboree every Saturday night after the Opry at 10 o'clock, but the Music City Hayride takes place here in the Texas Troubadour Theater. Their season is about to kick off. Dean Holmen, the creator of the whole deal, is right here with us.
Well, thanks for having me, Devin. It's great. Yes, come out to the Texas Troubadour Theater. Our first show will be April 14th. That's a Tuesday afternoon, so you don't have to drive at night.
Dean, where did you come from? People come from everywhere to end up in Nashville. Where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin, but I've been recording down here since 2000. And I knew I wanted to retire and come down here. So and start a show and keep going.
Well, you've created this wonderful season of entertainment. It's about to start April 14th here at the Texas Troubadour, and the first show is a matinee. So tell everybody about that.
Yeah, we wanted to split them up, half of them in a day and half of them in the evening, because a lot of people, especially when you get to be my age, don't want to drive at night anymore.
I don't like to drive at night, especially in Nashville.
So we have a 2 o'clock matinee show, every other month. Mm-hmm. And then a few different times during the season, now we're going to have 2 in the month, so we'll have a Tuesday afternoon and then the following Friday.
Okay,
now,
Friday night.
April's show is going to be a matinee. May will be an evening show, but then June, July, and August we'll have a matinee on Tuesday and the evening show on Friday.
It's a true variety show. Kind of, you said, like the Louisiana Hayride, which is near and dear to my heart because in Shreveport, that was the place. If we have Margie Singleton, who happens to listen, she's part of the Louisiana Hayride family. But the Music City Hayride has a family, too. Pat Roden is one of those family members.
Yeah.
Who are the folks who are going to be on the April 14th show?
Well, our headliner for that day will be Bobby G. Royce.
We love him. Thank you, Scott Sexton, for introducing me to Bobby.
And I've known Bobby for a lot of years. In fact, I used to work in a band with his brother and sisters back in Wisconsin. I used to get called to fill in on drums because they never had a drummer in their family. So they always had a hire out drummer. So I got to work with Bobby's brother Everett and his 3 sisters that had a show back home. And then we'll also have Pat Roden will be on our first show this year. That's great, her and Tom Holland. And then Alan Carl. And then we have a new young lady here from Dyersburg area that's going to be part of our shows a lot this year, Tina White. She'll be a good addition for our show. Mike Lance, myself, Alan Carl, that'll fill out the first show. And we change artists, not the same every week. So you can come back each month, and you're going to see a lot of different artists performing here.
Well, 100% of the proceeds of these shows go to help some very, very worthy causes. And if you go to musiccityhayride.net, you will see Dean accepting awards from veterans organizations, from entertainment organizations for your work with the veterans. First of all, thank you for your service.
I'm proud, and I was honored to be a veteran. And I was even more honored to be able to come home. Unfortunately, not all of them get to.
No, that is true. And in our world today, we all acknowledge that the veterans don't get nearly enough help or credit for what they've done for our freedom every day.
And that's a fact. And that's why I wanted to help with our veterans. Operation Stand Down here in Nashville does so much good work for our veterans.
They do.
It's great to be able to support them. And I didn't want to do this 10% stuff that you only have to do to be considered a nonprofit. To me, every penny we take in through our door,
every penny, did you hear that?
Is going to go back to our charities. We do have outside donations coming in to help us run the shows, because otherwise, how would you do it? Mm-hmm. Sponsors and reoccurring donors help us keep the shows going. But every ticket sold, every penny of that goes back to our charities. We're not keeping any of that for our shows.
And a lot of folks have asked about being a sponsor. It's not, people think, it's going to be so expensive, I could never do that. But if you believe in veterans charities, and this year they've added 2 extras, they've added work with dementia and Alzheimer's, then what is the organization that will be a recipient this year?
Thriving for Life is what
Thriving for Life.
Their name is, and I believe they got a website up now too, but it's just been launched, and I don't know the website off the top of my head, but it'll be on our website, I'm sure.
Well, that is a cause that's near and dear to everyone's heart, because if you haven't dealt with it, it's not if, it's when. Someone in your family, someone in your friend group, someone you know has someone in their life that's dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's. So it's important. And then also, as a Shriner,
yes,
you've chosen another group.
I got our board to approve us. We're going to pick up the Shriners Hospital for Children this year, too. Mm-hmm. As a 20-year member of the Shrine, it's always been close to my heart is to help the children, and they sure need it, too.
You were just telling me a story about a pageant winner. Please share with the viewers a little bit of that story, because it really touched me.
Well, we were doing a parade in actually Winona, Minnesota, which was out of our area at that time, a gigantic parade. And one of the leaders of the parade that was going to ride around in the car and do all the big wave was a pageant winner from one of the beauty pageants there. And she come up and asked if she could give us all a hug. And we thought, well, we'll hug any beautiful woman. That's fine with us. And after she did that, she says, I just want to thank you, folks. And she lifted her skirt a little bit, and we saw that she had 2 prosthetic legs. And she says, you guys gave these to me so I could do what I'm doing.
Wow.
And I do talk.
That, we forget.
Made it worth it. Made every minute of it worth it.
And the Shriners are in a lot of parades, and yes, they ride around with a fez, and yes, there's a Ray Stevens song that we all know and we've all laughed at. But the work that the Shriners do for children who need facial surgery and cleft palate surgery, and they have legs that they need prosthetics, or maybe one leg shorter than the other, or there's issues that we don't deal with, and their burn center for children. Oh my gosh. So the easiest thing you can do is go to see a show. The easiest.
That's what we'd like, because then the more people that come in, the more we can give at the end of the year. Every year in December is when I have a dinner right up the street here, and we give our checks out to the charities then. And this year I'm probably I think I'm going to plan on going back to my home state too and split so my home temple back in Madison, Wisconsin can give part of the money to the hospital, and the Elmina Shrine here in Nashville that I've been a part of now, and give them the other half of that, so we can both give to the hospitals. It's always a pleasure to do that.
This is a giving community, and we have been through some really bad tragedy with the tornadoes in this town. And God bless all the helpers. God bless all the people who were victims of this tornado. But there is no more giving community than you'll find in Nashville, Tennessee.
That's for sure. They're just lining up. Thousands of people. They have 4,500 signed up in the first day. And that was just at one place. There's other places to sign up, too.
You can always be part of the solution. And Dean has used his musical gift here in this town, his adopted town.
Yes. Well.
And he has brought it in with a Music City Hayride. And here's the website, musiccityhayride.net. Now, the first show is April 14th. It's a matinee show here at the Texas Troubadour Theater. Parking is free. And just to be in this historic auditorium is incredible.
I thank my good Heavenly Father every time he lets me step on this stage. To me, I know the Grand Ole Opry is probably a better stage, but to me, this is the most prestigious stage in town.
Well, you know what it is? It's the second longest running radio show that emanates from this. The Texas Troubadour is the home to the Midnight Jamboree, and that's wonderful. It's free every night after the Opry. At 10 o'clock, they do the taping, and it airs on 650 WSM every Saturday night. But the Music City Hayride is another tradition that has started here, and we're glad to be part of it. Let's see a couple of people who are listening. Hey, MJ. Hey, Blake. How are you? And Galen Griffin is joining us. Fabulous songwriter, singer from my home state. Scott Sexton is watching.
Scott Saxton, hello. Let's get a little plug in for Scott, too. He's another philanthropist in this town.
Yes, he is. Country for a Cause.
And that's coming up. You are a board member of that now, too.
As are you. And you know what? If you have not seen Country for a Cause and all the lineup that they've got.
I just read the full final, I think it's the final lineup. today, and I can't believe how much talent they got coming in for that show this year. And the tickets will sell out for that fast. So if the link is up for buying your tickets, you better get them quick.
Speaking of drummers, Jimmy Fadden from Nitty Gritty Dirt Band is watching.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, how are you? Well, I am so glad that you guys tuned in today. Share this on your pages. MusicCityHayride.net is where you go. And Dean Holmen is my guest. Thank you guys for being part of the fam today.
And it's great to see you. And please come on out and check out our show starting April 14th.
And you can check out my podcast, not just on Facebook, but anywhere where you get your podcast. You can go to DevonO'DaysNashville.com.